8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes for this, full time, wasn't it? And it was, lambs to the slaughter. Ian's been calling me fat again, which I don't blame him because I'm fat. And I forgot the bloody link to him again. It's been a long day. Good evening, everyone, from Michael, even though from Leslie, who says share to your socials, help the channel grow, all that sort of stuff. Super chats in the bottom right-hand corner. The channel is ad-free as long as it pays for itself. It's getting dangerously close to not doing that, so we might have to turn them back on soon. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget about Diet Crow, absolute fantastic company who do these amazing t-shirts and loads of other stuff. And everyone gets 20% off who watches this channel. Football prizes, even better. They give us £100 to give away to you guys. The prize draw should be tomorrow or Tuesday, so we'll have £140 to give away. At the moment, if you're lucky enough to win and you get the credit in time, you can enter this competition to get a Gaza signed shirt and loads of other prizes as well. And the last thing to say is, obviously, Superfan Dan and John have their own show on the channel now called Barcode Banter. You need to watch it. Both these guys are massive Newcastle fans, and their story's incredible. So please get watching. Super chats are available, bottom right-hand corner, 99p to join. The link is at the top of the channel to join if you want to. But let's bring Ian in. Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, mate.
How are we doing?
Trying to just being a day of trying to digest of not many things went right, but plenty of things went wrong. That's
just a bit.
Yeah. To try and get your head round and try to take any positive out of this, which is it's pretty glim to say the least.
Well, let's start off with some. No, we won't. We'll start off with this dickhead first. Please stay away from this account on Twitter. He has deleted it again. He will come back. He's a scammer. He scammed a couple of people recently. His account looks legit. It looks like it's called Martin. He's not. The money that you pay into is a complete different account. It's an offshore account. So if you're looking to buy tickets, stay away from this account, please. I have reported it to Twitter. That's why it might be closed. I don't know, but he's very crafty because he closes it for a week and he reopens it again, and people don't realize it's him again. So please be very, very careful. I know we all want tickets. We all want to go to the games, but please buy them off people you can trust.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult sometimes. We're all desperate to go. Also, the women won 2-1. So there's a positive.
Fantastic. Absolutely.
It is. They're in the final now, aren't they?
Final, yeah, right? Final now. A great home win. Fair play to them. After only losing a couple of games, obviously one was against Manchester United, which are pretty league above. But they're attracting bigger and better players. That's come to the ladies. So fair play to them. They're going the right direction, and that was Amanda Staveley's aim when she first took over, was to make sure the women were as a successful direction as the men, and it showed. Fair play. Well done.
It is. I mean, they've got a long way to climb. They've got a big ladder to climb, but they're doing it in the right way, aren't they? And
yeah,
it can only help to get more fans in from other places around the world and more women watching football and watching Newcastle in particular. I mean, you look at the Man City, Chelsea following, Man United following, Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain. They have massive following for their women's team because they're doing well.
Yeah, and there was a healthy crowd in St James's Day as well. So well done for everybody turned out.
Yeah, 100%. Right, let's have a look at the lineups. Looks like Leslie's lost connection for some strange reason. Don't know why. But this was the Arsenal team. Obviously, quality all over the place. We all knew the dangers. I wasn't surprised at any of the inclusions. The only thing is Jesus was on the bench. That was the only thing that was a bit of a surprise to me. But Havertz has got that streak, hasn't he? That dirtiness that they may have needed. Our starting lineup was a bit weird. Karius coming in, but then we find out Dubravka's been ill.
Yeah.
Which is a nightmare. But then Isak started, and everyone got a little bit. I got a little bit excited as well. But yeah, Miggy notched up his 200th appearance for the club, which is incredible for him. But let's face it, we got through the first 10 minutes. It was pretty dire. We were lucky to still be at 0-0, but then they get a corner. Saka takes it. It's about the third corner, I think they had. The first one from the other side, because Declan Rice took the other ones for in-swingers. You could see what they were doing. They were always trying to hit just near that near post, weren't they? They weren't trying to lob it into the box or go to the back post. They were trying to fire it in and make it as dangerous as possible, which is what Saka did. Gabriel gets his head on it. Keeper saves it, parries it out. It hits Tino, then it hits Karius, then it hits Botman's knee. Then Karius looks like he saved it, but he's over the line. It was just a comical goal.
Well, they had a corner in the first minute.
Yeah. Other side, though, that was the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And it just showed the intent what Arsenal were going to be all about. I just think they had the grit between the teeth from minute one. Going back to the lineup, it was kind of what I said on Friday of what I expected, especially if Isak was going to be fit. I thought he had to start, simply because the game before cried out for a centre forward. For me, I just think the tone was set by them. I just think we just showed them far too much respect. Well, miles off from the minute they kicked that football off. You could just see we're sometimes 3, 4, 5 yards off players, which is not acceptable. You're right. With the corners, they just knew what they were doing. They're going to put. For me, if a goalkeeper's never played for a long time, you're going to try and put a ball in areas where test them straight away. And especially when you take the aerial threat away from Dan Burn, where
we'll come on to him later.
I don't. It's kind of. Baz, I don't want the show to turn into a Dan Burn show because it's
no, it won't. It won't. But let's just get the elephant out of the room, right? Everyone, every armchair football manager, sitting person, fan wanted Tino out in the team and Burn out of the team.
Millions.
And Eddie Howe said for the last few times that he's played him because of his defensive qualities, because the teams he'll play against are good in the air from set pieces. Arsenal have the best set piece record in the Premier League. And then he drops Dan Burn. Why didn't he stick to his laurels and say, I'm playing him? Because that was if Dan Burn plays, there's a chance those corners don't go in. But, personally.
Right. If you go back to stats where Dan Burn is on corners, he's in them areas where he heads them balls away. And now it's everybody's petrified about his pace, but his defending side, what he does, blocking balls and etc. that stands out like a sore thumb. And I think on set players we look very, very vulnerable. Every set player last night, But again, it was a great whip ball into that area where you've got to ask questions from Arsenal. It was fortunate, it took a few ricochets, etc., etc.
It's comical in the end, though, wasn't it? Because, I mean, when Dan Burn went to hook it out, he missed it completely. And then he ends up being on the floor right in front of the keeper. Then it comes back out to him, hits Botman's knee, and then it's over the line. It's just,
Yeah, and everybody was going, it's a great save by Karius, but it was straight at him. It wasn't a great save, in my opinion. It was just a crap.
An instinctive one, wasn't it, really, when you think about it? Because he was only 6 yards out, Gabriel, when he headed it. And
it was a crap goal, bottom line. And
it was, yeah.
It was, do you know what it is? It was Arsenal were miles better from them first encounters of that game. And to score that goal, it just we were shite, but it just totally knocked the stuffing out of us. And we were ever going to come back from that goal.
Yeah, absolutely agree. This is a great one. So a good stat today. Arteta has built his team over 5 seasons, spent a shed load of money and not won anything. For those wanting how out, have a think. And he's right, to be fair. There's a lot of good comments coming in. We let them run for the ball far too much in midfield, barely put a tackle in, challenged the whole net. We'll talk about that soon. All the YouTube accounts who were absolutely banging on about Eddie Howe getting them out, just have a word with yourselves, man. You know, last season we finished 4th. Yes, we're having a bad season, but I wrote this season off a long time ago. And Eddie Howe will be staying. It's as simple as that. Nick Pope is a massive miss. Can't wait till he's back. You're absolutely right, Paul. I agree. Right, Liam's in the background. I'm going to bring him in. Good evening, Liam. Thanks for joining, mate.
Oh, Baz, you all right?
I am. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, pal.
Good. We'll come to the ticket and stuff near the end, but we're talking about the game at the moment. We've just covered the first goal, which was a bit of a shambles. Were you at the game last night?
No, I didn't go last night, Baz. I had to work, unfortunately.
Livid. Well, to be fair, livid, but not livid because you. Let's face it, you.
Well, no, I had a lot of plastering to do on my job. If I didn't do the work I had to do on Saturday, I wouldn't be able to go to Blackburn on Tuesday. So needs most. I had to take a choice between Arsenal and Blackburn. I chose Blackburn.
I don't blame you. I would have done the exact same thing, to be fair. I mean, let's face it, we haven't won at the Emirates since 2010, and last night it just showed.
Probably 2030 and 2010 before we win that game.
I think you're probably right. I'm trying to think what the second goal was. Oh yeah, it was terrible, wasn't it? So
all 4 goals were terrible, mate. To
be fair, but yeah, come on, Liam, tell them how it is. I love it. So if I remember rightly, the second one, it was a ball over the top. Tino loses his man. He's out of position. They square it back, 6-yard box. Havertz slides it. I said Havertz on Friday was shite, and he's definitely not going to score. So he was always going to score, wasn't he?
Yeah, he always was going to score because I cannot stand the bloke.
Yeah. I'm the same. I can't stand him. Ian, from a left back as you were, is there anything Tino could have done better, or could the team could have done better in that instance? The whole defence was poor, though.
For me, again, when I look at where it starts from, and it starts from our midfield. Our midfield was non-existent; they were poor.
When a bit of feedback, 2 seconds. There we go.
When that ball goes into Livermento's given far too much space anyway. Bit of no man's land, ball across. Havertz runs in between 2 players and just puts it in the bottom of the net. It's just a really, really poor goal again from Newcastle United. All over. Up to that second goal, mate, we did not lay a glove on Arsenal. No. We didn't get close enough to make any tackles. The frustrating thing for us is when we did get rare ball, right? We were so careless and just giving it away. We didn't look to play it, but in the times where we're trying to play in really, really tight areas. We're putting it into Bruno, which he got absolutely swamped off Declan Rice, and it kept breaking down, which kept putting them on the front foot. And then when it just came in, we just humped it long, right? And I felt sorry for Isak, and Isak was so isolated in that first half, and he just kind of was the balls into him were terrible. They were just hopeful. I thought it was just times and times where our midfield were just so disjointed. There was times where Kieran Trippier was playing so high up, and against Arsenal, it just frustrated the life out of me watching that, especially without the ball. Because when it breaks down, a team like Arsenal is just going to hurt you and hurt you. Why weren't we a lot more compact without the ball, especially in compact balls? So if it did break down, they just kept picking pockets down the sides of us, Baz, which it was so frustrating to watch.
It was. I mean, I pointed this out loads of times in the watch along. The free in midfield was so close together. There was so much space in between the lines, and there were so many of the Arsenal players were just dropping into those areas and picking the ball up and starting attacks or being dangerous in our opposition. The only time we really were compact was when we actually defended as a 10 and left Isak isolated, unfortunately. And here's the examples you sent.
Exactly.
Chasing shadows.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Literally chasing shadows all game. I mean, what's the point in bringing a player back like Alexander Isak from injury to chase shadows all day? You might as well just left him and kept him for Tuesday.
Now, obviously, we're a bit far away from that, but when we have had ball in areas where we just look at it, he's so isolated, it's unbelievable. Like they were trying to play balls into them where it was never ever going to be that way. And I mean, that's Kieran Trippier on that far right hand side. I mean, it's just not good. It's good, not good play. You've got your midfield three there that are just. It's just not existent for us. It's bad. But and then you've got Livermento in no man's land, and it's when it breaks down, we were just getting hurt time and time again. And Odegaard, time and time again, was picking balls up, in them areas that broke down and hurt us so many times. Now people are going, "Why did you take Isak off?" That's why we took Isak off, because he ran around for 60 minutes, being non-existent. So why risk him?
Yeah, but you know the weird thing was with Isak. So asked Isak to go wide left before they were going to take him off, because they knew they were going to take him off and they were going to swap that position over. When Isak went on the wide left, within 30 seconds of Isak going out there, he gets a ball, he takes on the man, he cuts inside, he hits one just over the bar.
And he puts it over the bar. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I've always seen, every time I've seen Isak play wide left, he's been dangerous. Look at Everton away last year. He took on four men and put it across Jacob Murphy, slots it home. Every time he's played out there, he's been fantastic.
Is he a better wide left forward than he is a striker?
I would say if Callum Wilson's fit, you play Isak wide left, you play Callum Wilson through the middle. I think Isak is a bigger threat when he's playing out on that wide position, because he knows how to beat a man. He can take on 3 or 4 men and get a shot off.
So where would you
or like he done at Everton last season, put the ball across, Jacob Murphy slots at home.
Where would you play Anthony Gordon and Liam?
I'd play him on the right hand side. Gordon on the right, Isak on the left, Wilson through the middle. If that was your fit team, that's how I would play him. I mean, Harvey Barnes, fantastic to see him back, brilliant. You got Willock coming back in the team. Now, where do you play Willock? Do you play him on that wide left hand side? Do you play him in the midfield?
You play him in the midfield.
Yes, in my eyes, of course he does. I mean, our strongest midfield, 100,000,000% is Willock, Joe Linton, and Bruno. We've never got the chance to see that.
I agree with that. Let's get back to the stats though in the game. So half time, this is how bad it was. That is how terrible we were. 36% of possession, no shots on goal, no shots on target, only 202 passes, 78% passing accuracy. It was terrible. Nobody could hold on to the ball. It was dreadful to watch. And it gets even worse, doesn't it, in the second half? And I couldn't screaming at the screen. Botman picks up the ball in the defence. They're playing it around a little bit. He tries to play a ball into midfield. The Arsenal man's read it like a book, takes it off him, gives it to Saka, and he puts the ball in the net. Now, everyone's going to blame Tino because Tino got skinned. But if that was Dan Burn, the whole world would have nuked.
The same would have happened to Dan Burn.
Exactly. But the whole world.
So what's happened is, Eddie's took a choice to bring in Tino Livramento. Now I think he's been a bit stitched up personally.
Yeah, you don't play him against Arsenal personally.
No, definitely not. Now you play Bournemouth last week. Yeah, play Tino then. Why bring him in against Arsenal and say, yes, I'll drop Dan Burn? Is Eddie trying to prove a point?
Possibly.
I don't know.
But for me, it's Botman's fault, isn't it, Ian? Because he tries to play a ball.
No, Sven
Botman's worst. And then we would have been fine.
Yeah. Sven Botman's he hasn't been great for weeks, but last night was a different level of Sven Botman. He was absolutely terrible. But what do you do to drop Sven Botman for that one bad game?
No.
No, you don't.
If he's injured or not.
I've seen teams put on Twitter today, and they've got themselves playing instead of Botman. I'm like, come on, lads. How are you? Come on. How are you? Jamal Lascelles, Sven Botman. How are you? You allowed bad games. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get us wrong, I played Sunday morning football for years. Yeah, sometimes I had fantastic games. 3 weeks in a row, maybe. If I didn't score a goal, I was devastated because I was centre forward. Devastated. But does that mean I was a bad player, or just because I was off the boil? So do you bring in Joe Bloggs off the bench, who's actually 10 times worse than me, just because I've had a couple of bad games? No, you don't. You persist with your players for them to find their form again. And they're not going to find their form sitting on the bench.
Nope,
yeah, so answer this one for us, Liam, then. Our defence last year, apart from Nick Pope, was the best defence in the league. We'd conceded, and this season we've obviously got them back, which is Trippier, Shaw, Botman, and Byrne.
Yeah.
Just because Dan Byrne had a ropey game and should have been took off at half time the other week. So does that so like you've said there, just because he has a bad game deserved to be dropped? Because everybody's been screaming from the heavens for Dan Byrne to be took out of that football team. Now, there were times yesterday in mind, I believe that Dan Byrne would have defended so much better than Tino Livramento.
I totally agree. Now,
what I've said for this show, on this show for weeks and weeks and weeks now, Joe Linton was so imperative to that defensive record we had last season, but from protecting Dan Byrne's weaknesses, which was pace, and he was sat in front of him, protecting him in that way by doubling it up. Now, his defensive skills is miles better than Tino Livramento. What you get from Tino is you get pace going forward, and you get in his recovery. But what you lose is you lose your aerial ability and your defensive ability. So where do you draw the line on who do you play at the left back?
Do you know what it is? It's a bit of a Jose Enrique. It's a bit of that situation, isn't it? Jose Enrique was so good going forward. Defensively, it was questionable.
Right, I ask the question now then. What is our most important thing, what we are doing at the minute? We are conceding goals that's going out of fashion. Right?
Defending.
It's appalling. So what do you do? Do you bring in defenders that's going forward? That's great. He can go forward. He's got pace because every team this year now has got pace on the wide. We need to shore up in the back. Now I believe that our back four, that's the best defensive ability, is Trippier, Shaw, Botman, and Byrne. What I feel as a Newcastle United club, what we need to do more is get that midfield three more tight and compact,
protected,
and certainly get the three forwards coming back and helping as well, because it's not about all going one way.
Yeah, you've got to protect that midfield three at the minute because that is so weak in that midfield three at the minute. It needs to be protected. So you play your best.
That's why I said yesterday, and I showed you this on Friday, and I said we should play 5 at the back because we're playing Arsenal, because we need to protect Dan Byrne at left back or Tino at left back. We should have played 3 at the back with 2 wing backs. And if Isak was playing great, if not, you had Gordon and Barnes up front and you had the 3 in midfield, because that 3 in midfield doesn't have the ability to tackle like a Joe Linton and like a Willock. They don't have the smarts yet.
No, they don't.
Miley may get it because he's going to be quality. Sean Longstaff's good at pressing, but he's terrible at tackling. And Bruno's on the tightrope of receiving another yellow card every banned for 2 games. And that's
Miley, though,
his game for me.
Baz, Miley's still a kid. He's still a babe.
Exactly. Yeah,
he's a babe. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't be having this pressure of playing week in, week out in the Premier League. He should be throwing in when he's needed or coming off the bench or whatever. He's 17-year-old. But we've got no other option, which I totally agree. No other option. I mean, Willock's coming back in, right? At the minute, we can put him in that midfield free. Not a problem. So I'm seeing people taking Longstaff out the team for Willock and leaving Miley in. Now I would do the opposite. I would take Miley out the team, leave Longstaff in, and bring Willock into that midfield free. The problem is what you've got, right? You've got the Twitter managers, Twitter FC, and they talk so much bollocks. It's unbelievable. I mean, I just laugh. Sometimes you want to comment and you write a comment out and you delete it again because you think. I mean, if these players are reading this on Twitter and thinking, are these fans actually all right? Like, do they need help? Do they need help? Because some of the stuff I read, I think, come on, lads. I mean, I read this morning, Eddie Howe out, Jose Mourinho in.
Oh,
and
honestly, those ones do
I had to run to the toilet because I thought I was going to wet myself. Because I thought somebody's actually really wanting Eddie Howe out and Jose Mourinho in. Come on.
Someone said, Tristan, I'm sorry, mate, but I'm not on your side. But he thinks Thomas Tuchel should be the next manager. And he's getting the sack at Bayern. And he can't even, with Harry Kane up front, he can't even win the league.
I mean, they did score a last-minute goal last night, like, to be fair, but...
Well, he's on his way out, isn't he? I personally would have played 5 at the back.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm Eddie Howe. I'm Eddie Howe in. Keep Eddie.
That's all
I'm concerned.
So I just thought he should have changed it up because he knew how weak our midfield 3 is. Bruno's running a tightrope. If you played 5 at the back, he could have asked Shaw to step into midfield when we had the ball. And when he doesn't have the ball, we retreat into a 5. We'll be more compact. We're harder to break down. And hopefully we'll hit them on the break. That would have been my tactics. Again, I'm not a manager. I've never managed a team. Don't know whether it would have worked. I just felt like it made sense against Arsenal.
But for me, though, for weeks and weeks and weeks now, that midfield 3, what we've had to, we've had to force to play that because of player availability, right? It just hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked. And you go back as far as the Nottingham Forest game at home. Then 3, it's just not happening for me at all. We just don't seem to be. We don't seem to be on the same page. You've got players making the same runs into the same areas. You've got 2 players, and then we've got too many. We've got so many times. What's frustrating me is there's so many midfielders beyond the ball. So when it breaks down, we're getting absolutely crucified.
Well, they're not quick enough to get back, are they?
But
where Willock and Joelinton are, they're quick enough to get back. They also make that tactical foul where other players don't.
I'm just laughing at one of the comments I've just read there.
Go on.
It's how much we would love the Jose Mourinho attacking style of football at Newcastle.
Yeah. He's having he's being sarcastic.
I was going to say, I hope he has been sarcastic because Jose Mourinho, don't get us wrong, fantastic manager. Was is a big word.
Yeah.
It's a different Premier League now. Yeah. Mourinho had massive success. It's different Premier League now.
We have massive amounts of money as well.
It's changed. It's totally different. I tell you what, if you're going to bring Mourinho in, tell you what, you might as well bring Kevin Keegan back then. That's what I'm talking about. It's a totally different ball game in this Premier League now to the Mourinho style. What he done, the success he had, it doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't. I agree.
It doesn't work anymore.
There's one more goal to discuss. It came from a corner again. It was an in-swinger this time. It hits Miley's hand and goes in. Again, if Dan Burns playing, does that goal go in, Ian?
Well, again, it's in the areas where, if you look at his stats, that's what he does best, and that's why Eddie Howe puts him in them areas to head corners away. And that's why, again, his defensive ability, what he gets, that gets took away from him because people absolutely criticise him for his pace. You know, I keep saying this. Nobody ever said a dicky bird when we played against Paris Saint-Germain, when we played against AC Milan, when we played against top in the cup final. You know, it's his defensive ability what you've got to look at. You know, and I just think against top team, straight away, right? Everybody wanted what they wanted yesterday, and they got what they wanted. Simple as that. Burnout, to win, and that's it. Yeah. They wanted.
I agree.
Right, but if you look at a defensive side, we were nowhere near. Nowhere.
But the whole team was off, weren't they?
Yeah. Where our weaknesses was, Baz, was where we were normally strong, and that was balls into the box, right, and stuff like that. We was quite strong at that, but
yeah,
you know, it was one of them for me. You know, you kind of pick any. Who had a positive game last night? People said Karius, right? Absolutely. You know, for me,
he did all right in situations, but wasn't fantastic.
No, I tell you what, good games last night. Declan Rice, Odegaard, by a mile. The pair of them were outstanding.
Jorginho was unbelievable.
He ran the show, didn't he?
He ran the whole park.
The 3 of them were outstanding.
Yeah, they were.
When I seen Jorginho in the starting lineup, I thought great.
Oh yes, get in, yeah.
He proved us wrong. He absolutely ran the game.
3 of them were unreal.
They were.
He ran the game.
He did. Let's jump on to our substitutions. I thought Eddie did the right thing. The game was gone. He took players off to keep them fresh for Tuesday. I thought that was a great thing. It was great to see Willock come on. Botman limping off is a worry. I don't think he was fit last night. I really don't. I think there was something off with him, and that's why he had such a bad game. But he was.
Yeah, but did he limp off because he knew how bad it'd be?
Because he had a crap game, he didn't. There is that.
Because I tell you what, if I was a professional football player with Newcastle United last night, I would have went down and said, "Please take me off this pitch."
Yeah, I agree. But the subs worked. Big Dan Burn gets an assist with a lovely bursting run down the left-hand side. Good cross. And Willock with a fantastic header. It's fantastic to see this guy back. I've been saying it for months. We miss him just as much as we miss Joe Linton, because the way he carries the ball from midfield with his pace, his strength, he can shield it very well. We missed that last night, didn't we, Liam?
Yeah, we did.
He showed us how good he was when he came on.
He didn't make Tino on the overlap. It was Dan Burn on the overlap last night, wasn't it?
Exactly. He was like there like a rabbit.
And what a great headed goal that was, by the way.
Oh, it was. It was a fantastic header.
Yeah, it was the best. Believe it or not, there was 5 goals last night, and that was the best goal of the night.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, most Arsenal ones were crap, weren't they? The Saka one was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
But yeah, I like the way we.
But then again, Saka goal, Botman giving the ball away in the middle of the park like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, Botman. Yeah, I think we covered. The Arsenal player read the pass before he even played it, and I was just like, no, don't play the ball, and then he plays that. I was like, oh my god, that was just like, yeah, this is just shocking. It just demonstrated how far we're away from consistent top 14. Piff will be watching. Yeah. They want top spot, but they aren't daft. They won't sack Eddie, who has took their team to the Champions League and won it. Of course, it's not going to sack Eddie. I mean, all these people who think that Piff are these really harsh, regime. They were told. Everyone watched the documentary. Why is no one remembering this from the documentary? Who were on Twitter and all these armchair fans?
I remember it. I remember it clearly.
There'll be a massive. You do. Ian does. Most of the people who watch this channel do. There's so many people on Twitter and people who play Football Manager. They said there will be a big drop-off and a massive drop-off, and they were right. And I think they were expecting this. Not as maybe as bad as this, but they knew there was going to be a big drop-off. It's a these are the stats in the end. I mean, it got a little bit better, but it was absolutely terrible. Do you know the one thing that really frustrated me the most last night is the first big challenge on any player was in the 80th minute, and that was Dan Burn on the side when he put him in the stand. That's the kind of challenge you want to see in the first 5-10 minutes.
He hit him that hard. I thought he was going to land in the Gallagher den, mate.
Exactly. And Kevin Keegan always said that if things aren't going your way, hit them.
Yeah.
And show them that they're in a game. And we just did not do that until the 80th minute. Regime, you're... Oh, yeah. I love it. But yeah, it was absolutely terrible. There was somebody on. I had an argument with someone on Twitter. I don't know why I do it. I got involved. They said Tino was outstanding last night. So I sent them this. I sent them that. I said 72 minutes, 2 clearances, no block shots, no interceptions, no tackles. How can a player be outstanding who gets a rating of 6 and doesn't put a challenge in?
If anybody watched that football match that knows anything about football last night, not one of our Newcastle United footballers got above a 5 that started that game last night. They showed far too much respect. They just done nothing in my eyes. That's the worst performance on Eddie Howe that I've seen, and especially going away to someone like Arsenal, where normally it's a tough place to go to, right? But we, as a club, are miles better than that. And last night, embarrassing. Absolutely.
Bruno was the highest rating at 6.9.
Well, that's I tell you what. And for me,
he got caught in possession. I don't know how many times.
But again,
give the ball away. I don't know how many times.
To be fair, though, Liam,
I wouldn't give anybody more than the 5.
Right. No. To be fair, though, Liam, right. If anything going into Bruno, because he likes to play in tight areas, he got swamped. Because they knew that, right? Mikel Arteta knew that the only threat that we'll ever have on a football, and if you let one man dictate, that's Bruno.
Yeah,
he just swamped that man last night.
100%. I mean, don't get us wrong. Arsenal were absolutely fantastic, by the way.
They were.
How quick they can move a football is ridiculous. I mean, you've got Gabriel and Sablista at the back. They are the two. They've got to be the best centre half pairing in the Premier League by a mile.
I totally agree with you there, Liam, by how quick they move that ball. But we give them 3 and 4 yards to
100%.
Right.
But pressing game wasn't there.
Right. So
we know from last season, right, how we got in the Champions League was how quick we pressed the ball. We were on top of a player. As soon as we had the ball, we were on top of them, on top of them, on top of them. We haven't seen this season. How quick we can close them down and get like make them make mistakes. We haven't done it. It's just I don't know what's happened, but something just went missing.
The last time we did it was Villa away, and look what happened.
Yeah,
we
100%.
were on our game then, weren't we? Massively on our game.
Villa was a prime example. Press the ball. I mean, lads, we've got a massive game now coming up at the weekend.
Tuesday night's huge.
Tuesday's huge, but the weekend is huge as well.
Yeah.
Wolves have now jumped above us. We've got to go and beat them at St James's Park. We've got to.
Saturday is massive. Massive.
Oh,
game.
Saturday's huge.
I think Tuesday's bigger than.
Yeah, mate. As I totally agree with you, because the FA Cup now is our only last chance of doing anything this season.
I think it's our last chance of getting into Europe.
Beat them on Tuesday and get a nice handsome draw in the quarterfinals. You're going to Wembley, semi-final. Anything can happen on that park, no matter who you're playing. I mean, look at Liverpool tonight, right? They've just beat Chelsea with their kids.
Yeah, they have.
They actually brought their bands. They brought the bands. Bobby Clark, all them were on the pitch. They were kids. They were kids on the pitch. They beat Chelsea. Well, I mean, yes, extra time, but there was kids on the pitch. Jurgen Klopp made them substitutions, not thinking he was going to penalties. Now he left his 5 penalty takers on the pitch and brought kids on, and they went and beat them.
That was brilliant. In a way, I don't
know what I mean. No, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It shows you what you can do.
Their youth system, Liam, is miles ahead of ours, mate.
No, I know that. I know that 100%. But Chelsea had millions and millions of pounds worth of players on that pitch. They had the academy out by the end of the game, and they went and scored with the academy on the pitch. Absolutely fantastic. That is absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant. That's where we need. That's when we need to get to, though. That's when we need to get to.
And we will get there eventually. The pathways have been made. I know Ashworth's not been here long, but 2 years is enough time to get the structure in place in a football club when it comes to the scouting and everything. So that structure will be there, but we won't see it for 4 or 5 years. Yeah, and this is what people forget.
But like the thing with like you're saying about Dan Ashworth, I'll tell you what my stance on that is. See you, Dan. Bye bye.
Yeah.
He's obviously not loyal. Bye. See you. Ta-ra. We can bring somebody else in. I'm a bothered who they bring in, but he hasn't really done great strides for us, has he really?
Well, we don't really know yet, do we? We don't know the fruits of the labour until maybe 2-3 years' time. We've brung in Matente, who looks good.
He looks fantastic, him, by the way. Two goals again at the weekend there.
Yeah. Harrison from Man City looks good.
Man City.
Miley's obviously pathwed way through to the full-time squad.
But he never brought him in.
No, brought him in, but he would have sat him down and had chats with him and what he's and all that sort of getting him into the first team, because that would have been. I mean, it's happened earlier than they probably wanted it to happen, but I think Ashworth's done a lot of work in the background that we will not know about.
Well, I would never say that.
Yeah, but that's
you only see what happens at the front of the club. That's all you see.
Exactly, but I think he's done enough to set everything up, and then let the next person who comes in will benefit from the work that he's done.
Yeah.
Look at Brighton. Look how well Brighton are still run, and Ashworth hasn't been there for 2 years, and they're still bringing players through. Let's go on to ticketing. So I saw a tweet. Someone gets a dud ticket. So actually, it's him and his daughter. One ticket worked, one ticket didn't at the game last night. His phone died as well after the game, so he was knackered. There was another guy who's had to prove that he was actually at the last game because his ticket was a dud, apparently. Yeah. I mean, I've got a massive problem with the club because of the way you've been treated, Lindsay's been treated, Fez has been treated. I love my football club, but I hate the people who are micromanaging certain departments. And this is where the issue is. They're still from the Ashley regime. They're not fit to run our football club in
No,
those
they're not.
departments. And this ticketing system, the ballot, I kind of like it in a way because there was people who took advantage of the first one. You know,
No, that's
people were
fine.
logging in on 5 different devices and getting in front of the queue of other people who are
I
logging in on one.
don't
and
think
stuff like
any
that.
Newcastle United fan has got a problem with the ballot system. That's fine. Absolutely fine. But this dud ticket thing is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah. How is it
People in
happening?
Arsenal, and I know 3 people that were red flagged last night. 15-minute walk from the turnstile
Yeah.
to where you had to pick your duplicate ticket up from. Now,
Sure.
I know a lad that missed 20 minutes of the game because he had to go around and show his ID. Now, I've read that tweet tonight from that lad. His daughter gets in the ground. She's 15-year-old.
Yeah.
She gets in the ground and then they pull him up on his ticket, telling him he has to go around. So I give the steward at Arsenal his due. He's buzzed him in. His daughter's in there, he's let him in. So now, because he's buzzed him in, he's now being red flagged off Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, he will be red flagged off Newcastle United
Eventually, yeah.
because he didn't go and pick his ticket up.
Yeah.
But his 15-year-old daughter's in that ground, so his duty as a father is to make sure he looks after his child.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, he could potentially now lose his points through being a father.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
And you're telling me how that's right?
Well, it's not.
No,
It's
it's
a
not.
shambles. I don't
No,
even
it's not.
understand this dud ticketing thing. How are they giving people dud tickets to then go and get an original ticket to
Right,
make sure
so-
they're proving who they are?
From what I'm led to believe is what Newcastle United now do. So we get 3,000 tickets for an away game. They choose 60 people. They send them an actual fake ticket out. Now, I think that's against the law.
It should be,
So now,
because
if
you're
I
not
sell
giving
you,
out the-
Bazza, if I sell you a fake ticket for a Newcastle game, I'm a fraudster, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Newcastle United are fraudsters. They're sending purposely dud tickets out to people to make them show identification to pick up a ticket to make sure they're not giving their ticket their friends.
It's ridiculous.
I've been following this club for away for 20, 28, 30 years. If you can't make a game, I can't make a game. I will get my ticket. I will give my friend my ticket. Not because I want a point or anything like that, an extra loyalty point. It's because I'm trying to help a friend out.
Yeah.
Right? That's fair enough. Now, what Newcastle United are trying to stamp this out, which I think's wrong, because you're taking away the loyal support.
Yeah.
Hence, Arsenal last night. I've spoken to people who were in that ground last night who said, you've got no idea how many empty seats were around me last night. Why? Why them empty seats there?
Because people are buying tickets to get the points and they're not passing the tickets on.
Well, 100%.
Or not selling them.
But to do that to a father with a 15-year-old, when he bought his ticket with his 15-year-old, why send him a dud ticket? They must have seen in their system that his 15-year-old daughter had a ticket with him. So why they dudded his ticket but not his 15-year-old daughter's? So that's safeguarding children as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That's massively wrong. Plus, surely that's got to be against some sort of selling rights as well, because if you sell the product,
I would have thought so. But it's all right when all these tickets come up on all these third-party sites where you can buy a ticket for St. James's Park for 300 quid. So where are these tickets coming from?
Yeah. Well,
where are they coming?
I would love to know where they're coming from,
told,
because I'm not getting tickets and ballots at the moment.
Well, what I've been told, players' tickets, family tickets, corporate tickets, they will never be red flagged. It's only the likes of us who get red flagged. Now, so are we scum?
We're just not as important as players, I guess.
Yeah, so if I'm friends with Jamal Lascelles, say, for instance, he gives me a ticket, that's all right, I can go to the match.
Yeah.
But if I get a ticket off Dave from Fortin, that's not all right.
No.
Can you tell us what the difference is?
Well, there isn't. Well, there's only difference is that they're players and they get special tickets, don't they? And special discounts. Because players can't use the ticket, can they? That's the reason why it probably doesn't get red flag, because they know they're giving it to somebody else.
The lads who've got corporate tickets, you can't tell me they don't pass tickets on. Because they do.
Yeah.
100 million% they do. So what are we? We're just low-level scum where we have to take I need to go to a match. I have to take my passport with me. What happens if I'm flying to Tenerife tomorrow? I take my passport with me to prove my ID, and I lose my passport. Now I can't fly to Tenerife the next day after the game because I've lost my passport because I've had to take it to prove who I am to Newcastle United.
Yeah, the system's not right, and
No,
I don't know
shocking.
how I came up with this idea that it was the right way to do it. I honestly don't understand.
What's your thoughts on Ian?
Oh, well, there's so many right things and there's so many wrong things. I just think the ID thing's just ridiculous. Once you've got your hand on that ticket, it's just, that's it. And what you do with it, it's, for me, like you've said, it says rightly what you said, Liam. If you possibly can't go, what's the harm in you giving it to your dad or your brother or anybody else just so they can go? Do you know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, it's a ticket sale. That it doesn't matter who sits in that seat as long as that seat's took, in my opinion.
See, the way I've always known it, and I've been going to away games, Baz, as you know, I've been going following Newcastle United away for years. I've never ever seen anybody sell a ticket on for less than face value.
I agree with that as well, because a lot of the fans who sell the tickets are actual genuine fans and don't want to rip other fans off.
Sorry, that's my phone ringing.
All right.
I'll try and ding it.
No, I mean, if people's trying to make a buck on people, I think that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And for me personally, if like I know Fairs and yourself, they were getting loads of tickets last season for other people to go down the countries and years gone by, whatever, right? But there's no way they would make money on it. No way whatsoever.
I mean, I know it is. The way we done, right, when we got our hands on tickets, right, we could get, say, 20, 30 tickets. You got a ticket as long as you had a seat on the bus, right? Listen, you had some really good lads going to the match, really good lads who've travelled with us for years. We didn't just give a ticket to Joe Bloggs on the street. These were lads that got on the bus week in, week out. Didn't even have a season ticket, didn't have a loyalty point, but there were lads who would get on the bus and travel. Now it would be £31 for the ticket, and I wouldn't charge them any less than 31 quid. I would even take the £1 booking fee off them, because that's what I paid, £31, and then £40 for your seat to Liverpool, or £50 to London, or £60 to Bournemouth. I wouldn't take any more than that. People would say, "Oh yeah, I'll buy you a pint." That's fair enough. That is fair enough. But I wouldn't. If someone said to me, "Yeah, if you can get me a ticket, I'll give you 100 quid," I would say, "No, mate. £30 if I can get you a ticket. £31 if I can get you a ticket, and that's it." I would never take 1 pence more than what that ticket was worth. Not 1 pence more. And every Newcastle United fan's the same. And if I've seen anybody selling a ticket for more than face value, I'll be the first one to call them is "See you next Tuesday."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree. Everything what you and Fez has done over the years has been bang on. Now I think the home ticketing situations is terrible. What I've seen tickets going for home games.
Yeah, but that's all from third parties.
I know, and it's absolutely shocking, mate. And it's simply because they know that people will pay it, and then people's complain about the atmosphere inside the grounds because, like myself, can't go to the games every week. And I would love to go, but you know what? It's ridiculous.
Since I've been banned from St James's Park, right, my lass has got a season ticket sitting right next to us. She hasn't been in one game this season, not one. I take £35 every week of her son for her season ticket. I worked it out what I pay for her season ticket on the monthly payments. It works out at £36 something, but I say 35 quid. He sends us that every week. That just covers her season ticket. She won't go unless I'm going, but that's still her seat. But I wouldn't say, "Oh, I want fucking 50 quid for it because we're playing Man U or we're playing Man City. I want 60 quid. No, I want £35. Whether we're playing Luton or we're playing Man City, £35. And that's it. And that's how it works.
Bang on, mate.
That's how it works. I've never ever, and all the lads I know in Newcastle United, I've never charged any more than face value. Never ever.
Well, I wouldn't pay it anyway. There's no way that I would pay 50 quid for a ticket in Newcastle. No way.
No, but I said I wouldn't pay any more than face value.
Yeah.
As simple as that. That's it. I mean, obviously, when we went to Wembley this time last year, it was a bit different. People were going daft.
Yeah.
I got offered £1,000 for my ticket, and I went, oh, no, not chance. I wouldn't have took £10,000. I wouldn't have took 10 grand. I wouldn't have took 10 grand for my ticket to Wembley last year.
Should have.
People took advantage of that situation.
Yeah, they did, to be fair. I got screwed with 20 other people as well, which is in the courts now, which is hopefully 29th of February. I can actually say something about it. I can't wait. Don't be shy about what that comment back over. You do the same.
You're on a year bar, are you?
No. It's a long story, mate. But someone who was a friend scammed me and 20 people out of a lot of money.
Yes, I know this story.
Yeah, £1,400
yes.
I lost.
Well, let's not say no names there.
Yeah, but I'm the one who scammed everyone, though, according to Twitter and according to all those.
Oh, Bazza, I've
idiots.
seen the shit you got on Twitter, mate. I love the way you just laugh at them, though, man. The idiots, man. I call them Twitter FC, me. Yeah. They should have their own football team. They should all be a bunch of managers.
I love it. But I can say the court case starts on the 29th of Feb, where the person will have to stand up in court and say whether he's guilty or not guilty. And he's good. He's guilty. He knows he is.
He's a tough.
As soon as he says that, I can say something. I can finally let loose, and I will let loose. But you are right. I mean, did you get? You probably wouldn't have, wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't be able to apply for it. But I tried to get into one of those ticketing conversations through a ballot to talk about a ballot and was unsuccessful. The usual bollocks. But it needs to change. But I just don't think it's going to change for a long time.
It's not going to change, mate. It's not going to change.
No. Let's have a quick look at the league table. It's not looking very pretty, especially with Wolves winning. But again, I mean, a couple of results go our way, a couple of results, against and for us. We could jump to 6 after Man United losing at home to Fulham. Man United is such a hit and miss team. But we have to beat Wolves on Saturday. If we want to have any hope of being in that 7th to 6th position, we cannot lose another game as badly as we did. But Tuesday is a big one for me. While I've got you, Liam, who's going to win the league? Because it's hotting up at the top now with Arsenal still keeping tabs on City and Liverpool.
Liverpool for me, Paul.
Do you really? Wow! I think you're the first person who said that.
Yeah, I think that's fucking flying, mate. I mean, they've got a lot of injuries in the minute. If they get the players back, I think they'll be fine. I think Man City, I never know. Every time I watch them, it just seems like they're just constantly trying to walk the ball in the back of the net, and I think they're going to get a lot of draws, and I think they might get a in there as well.
Yeah,
I really fancy Liverpool.
Do you know? I mean, it could be anyone's, couldn't it? Ian,
let's go with Newcastle.
I wish.
We're going to go an unbeaten run from now to the end of the season,
and everyone else loses. Go on, Ian. Who's going to win the league? Do you think?
City for me. I think
City.
Yeah, I think they'll go on a normal City run.
They did struggle against Bournemouth, though.
I just think they've got too much quality depth right the way through. I just think they're a different level. I really do. Don't get me wrong, mate. I agree with Liam. Liverpool are flying at the minute as well. But just for me, strength over the season, I think Pep knows how to get them over the line. But it could be the Klopp ending where.
I mean, when I was watching Man City against Brentford last week, I just thought, it was still 0-0 midway through the second half. And I'm thinking, you're still trying to walk the ball in the net, and they're constantly playing like that all the time. And I think if you're playing a better side, you're not going to break through the defence. It just seems like they never put crosses in the box or anything like that. It's like they're trying to pass the ball in the net, and I don't know why they do it, because they can do better.
Beautiful goals, don't he? They've always
he's done it with Barcelona. I know that, but that will get you unstuck over the season, because there will be games where you'll get unstuck with that. You'll not break through that defence. I mean, we done it last season. Last season at the Emirates. We held on for a 0-0 draw because we're stuck at it. Do you know what I mean? Like that will happen to Man City this season, and Liverpool can. Well, look what happened against Luton. 1-0 down, second half. Wow, the battered that goal down in there. I think that Liverpool will continue to do that throughout the season. I mean, mind you, when I seen that lineup the day, I didn't realise I had so many injuries. I even said my brother-in-law, who's a Liverpool fan, I went, "Who do you think you are, Newcastle United?" When I seen the injury list, Jesus, I didn't realise I had so many players out.
Well, the good thing for us, we've got players coming back. Fuck them.
Exactly.
I believe this is my fault right now, and has been for about a month and a bit. The FA Cup is the most important thing. If we can get to a final, could you imagine?
Mate, just even getting through this quarter-final, getting through this fifth round, getting to a quarter-final, get a good draw, and then even get a Wembley semi-final being just to get down to Trafalgar Square will be enough for me again.
Yeah, again,
that was tremendous.
Man City have already had the bad patch, missing De Bruyne and Haaland. They scored only 29 goals. Yeah, but they only scored 1 goal yesterday. Haaland missed a sitter. I can see where Liam's coming from, because Liverpool are scoring for fun, even though they seem to. I don't know how many times they've done it this season, how many times they've come from behind and won. They're probably the most informed team of getting points from losing positions.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a stat on that. This place has no doors. I'm getting stick. I love it.
Baz, I'm sorry to be rude, but I'm going to have to jump off if that's all right.
No, of course it is, mate. We're about to finish up anyway, but thanks for coming on. I really appreciate
it. Ian, it was very nice talking to you, pal.
Cheers, Liam.
And you're Blackburn?
No, I can't. Kids. Work on Wednesday morning.
Hey, never mind the kids, man. Get yourself doing a Blackburn.
I wish.
I hope you get good result on Tuesday, Baz. But anyway, Baz, I'll speak to you in a bit, right? Ian, very nice speaking to you, pal.
Cheers, pal.
Take care, mate. Ta-da.
Take care, man. Ta-da. Very good evening, Baz, and everyone. You're late, Paul. We're finishing. A home draw would be nice, providing we beat Blackburn. If we beat Blackburn, I would love to get Coventry, because I've been friends with a Coventry supporter, and he's a lovely lad, and it would be great if we can get, that side of the draw. Any final thoughts on the game, Ian? I mean, it was just absolute dross, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was just how we felt after the game. We just so deflated, mate. For me, I just looked. I was just when it was over. I was glad it was over. Normally, I listen to what people have to say after. I just turned everything off because I knew exactly what he would say. It was the first half performance. You set your standards of your first halves, and we were miles away, Baz, man. It was just. I said on Friday, you've got to go to Arsenal and just be the best they possibly can be, and we were the worst we possibly can be. So we'd never, or just, it was an uphill task from day to be for the minute we got there.
It probably was the worst performance this season, wasn't it? When we think about it, it was terrible, but that was worse for me. Who else was bad? City away wasn't fantastic.
But nowhere
away was terrible.
That mate. I mean, you can take the positives out of it right now. Obviously, Willock's massive for me coming back. And I thought,
yes,
you know what it is? I would have started him, mate. I really would have. Like I said on Friday, I would have started him. And you could see he was fit. He just, the way he got the ball and the way he carried that ball up the pitch and he gained his yards time and time again. And I mean, the goal was a superb goal. And again, it
was a great header.
I mean, it was his movement and his determination to get into the box to score that, which was really, really pleasing for me. And if I have him in that midfield with his energy, just to be back, it's got to be massive plus for us, like massive. How will the players be feeling? Well, I don't think they'll be feeling pretty. With the game coming, the best thing to do, there's another game coming on Tuesday, and the best thing you can do is work hard to put it right again on Tuesday, because that's the only way you can put it right. Because a week on the training ground, I think it probably wouldn't be the best for us at the minute. We need to win straight away. We need to get that win on Tuesday to get our confidence back. Do you know what it is? If we go away there and keep a clean sheet, that would be for me. That's the most important thing, because we're leaking in goals. And if we get that clean sheet, we'll go through, and then that's got to be the momentum and the positivity that we've got to take in for Wolves on Saturday, because Wolves for me is massive to get that momentum going again, because
put the home form right, because it's been terrible.
We haven't won this year at St James's Park.
No. Do you know why? Because I haven't been.
Baz, again, though, the worrying thing is we're conceding goals, and that's not just the back four. It's not it's the whole team that's conceding goals. The way we are without the football is worrying. And I know we said around about the January time that we'll cry out for a 6. Collectively, as a unit, at times we have been very, very poor, and that's why we are conceding too many goals. When last year we were so strong as a unit and so tight as defence. How many times last season did you see balls get pushed down the sides or in between the lines or in between centre halves? It just didn't happen. They had to work hard for goals last year. They handed on a plate this year, and that's frustrating for me. And it's just not acceptable.
Yeah, exactly the same. I mirror it. It literally is the midfield three, the 2 on the wings. They just don't seem to be tracking back as much. They don't seem to be compact. They seem to be more worried about the press forward, being on the front foot than what's behind them in between the lines. Yeah, and it was evident again last night how many times Arsenal got in between us.
If you watch the game and realise how wide, you talk about how wide men having, there's the old saying, as like an old winger back in the day, was you've got to have chalk on your heels. How wide we play as a 3, mind, is just, for me, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's especially without the ball. Yeah. You know, just stay out wide, and even Trippier sometimes is that far up the pitch. We're just leaving it's poor at the minute. It really is. Yeah. And
the thing is, Trippier could go up the pitch and be that far up because he used to have Bruno, Longstaff, and Joe Linton who would do all the running to cover. But there's nobody who does that now.
And for me, you can't tell me Eddie Howe was telling them without the ball you've got to be compact and tight. I think players sometimes are just doing what the hell they want. And times I've watched bits and bobs again today. Longstaff beyond that ball, mate, is ridiculous. He's for me is the worst culprits for us. And I thought he was really, really a positional player last night was so poor. It really, really hurt us last night in that midfield.
I think someone had a good tweet. I'm trying to think. Sorry, go on, carry on.
If we had good possession and good positional play, because when the ball went into Bruno, he got swamped, right? And there was 2 or 3 players on him every time when you have a look at it. Watch what they did, right? They just swamped him out. Now, if we were clever enough, and where's the space if them players are around one player? It's got to be
space. Yeah.
But have a look where Longstaff is. He's too far up the pitch. He's too far up the pitch, man.
Yeah. Someone said on Twitter, and I just remember the tweet now. Longstaff, Miggy, Miley, Bruno. I mean, Bruno's the exception, I suppose. But they're all comfortable because they know they don't have anyone up their backsides forcing them to play well to take them out of the team because there's nobody there, is there?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think Anthony Gordon, when he went through his little bit of a rough spell, he was the same where you do get complete, right? It's like being in a team where you've got 11 fantastic players and 7 shit, right? Right, he was absolutely, and then you've got a load of shit behind you, so you know you're going to play him week in, week out. Yeah. But once you get the likes of Willock back, your Harvey Barnes back, you've got to up your game, or you're going to be sat on the bench, and that can only benefit us, you know.
Absolutely.
But for me, I'll say it again. Well, we've cried out for him for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and Joe Willock is going to be so important. Fingers crossed he stays fit for the remainder of this season because he's going to be massive for us in that midfield.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Right. The other thing, we'll just put to bed the rumour. Everyone's saying that Eddie Howe was really disappointed with the players who went to the darts on Thursday night. He wasn't. They went to the darts on a Thursday night. They drank water. It wouldn't have even been a late night. It would have been 11 o'clock. It made no difference to Saturday, which was an 8 o'clock kickoff. They had plenty of rest. There was no beer. You know, come on. That's just a story of nothing just to try and make a story out of something.
They go to the training ground on a Saturday morning and do a load of tactical stuff, and then they fly down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because 8 o'clock kickoff, there's no reason for them to stay over. So they would have flew down on a Saturday, but then they went straight to the game. Right? So there's no oh man, it's a Thursday night. So what happens when James Maddison went to the darts? Did anybody say about it?
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. It's just people trying to make something out of nothing. That's all it is.
That ain't an excuse how shit we were, mate.
No, it's not. Dino, I can't agree more with you. Him and Joe Linton are right up there as two of the players that I really miss seeing the most. And obviously a fit striker. Don't forget to watch this show, guys. It's live, ready to view. It's Superfan Dan and John O'Hare from America. They've got their show on the channel. Please support them. The story is amazing. Ian, you've watched it. I haven't had a chance yet. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. But the stories are amazing. You need to get behind it and help them grow. And hopefully they'll have an ex-Newcastle player on one of their shows very, very soon. I'm trying to line someone up for them. But please support them because they're absolutely great. Ian, thank you as always. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night and what, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Well, Tuesday is the watch along. Wednesday is the review.
Yeah.
Friday you'll be with Gary because Gary's going to host the look ahead to Saturday because I'm on night shift Friday night. So it'll be you and Gary on Friday night. So there's quite a few going on. Keep an eye out on the channel. It's all in there now, so you can set reminders and all that sort of stuff. It was only long stuff at the Darts that started. There was about 3 or 4. No, yeah, that's actually quite right because there was Lewis Hall, Dan Byrne, and but wasn't Harvey Barnes there as well? And that's why some people were saying that he got dropped because he was at the Darts, you see.
Matt Target was there as well.
Oh, there we go. Dino says, just a quick one for Ian. Do you miss your concert days?
No. It's don't take that wrong, Dean. It's do you know what? I had a very successful career. I played for 20 odd years, so you know, for more than that, really. Do I miss playing football? No. I really enjoyed what I'm doing now. I'm like I say, I'm taking part in a charity football match next Sunday, and I've never kicked the ball for 10 years. The most I've done is kick the ball over the park with my son. So in a way, I'm not kind of looking forward to it. But in a way, I've got to do it for a good cause.
Shout out to the cause.
Yeah, honestly, mate, I had some great times at concerts. They're a fantastically run club. I was three times there. I was runners up in the league as well. But I started off there.
Don't let it all out. We've got a big show lined up. Just interviewing yourself very soon.
Yeah.
I'll play for the over 40s.
No.
Yeah, I tell you what. There's a few. Benfield could be a team for you if you want to play for an over 40s team or whatever it is. But no more questions for Ian because Ian is going to have his own show soon where I'm going to be interviewing him about his career and about why everyone should listen to him while he's on this show because he knows what he's talking about. So, Paul, keep an eye out for that. And Dino, because it will be when there's the gap. That's when we're looking at doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got a week off, haven't we, at some point? So we'll be international break. So we'll be looking to do that then. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Take care till then.